Greetings. I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer. Hello, DL, National Park Princess. Welcome, and thanks for joining me. You've been watching videos for the last 2 days and was happy to see that I had a premiere. Cool. I'm glad you're here. So she says hi, and we're just chatting back and forth a little bit before she got here. I'm glad that you got my live stream today. I kind of do this every Saturday. I'm going to be taking a break here in about 3 weeks. After this, I got 3 more of these to do, and then I'm going to be going on spring break for about 3 weeks too. And but then we'll be back and we'll be doing this again. So this is a lot of fun for me. Tonight we're talking about Copperhead from the Hilt. This is Joe Takes number 43. Copperhead, as I like to start my videos, is with the original vintage figure if I have it. And in this case, I do. I actually have 2 of these, but my other one is with my doubles bag, which I have yet to locate. So I'm missing quite a few of my other figures, but I have all the ones that were the best quality in with my main collection. But this figure, really cool. And let's see, you'll be listening? Cool. All right. I don't know how much of a fan of G.I. Joe you are, but this is my G.I. Joe thing. He came with this boat. He was never released as a carded figure. I don't think he was ever released as a carded figure, except maybe a 2-pack or something. But this is the moccasin, and this little boat came with some other accessories which I don't have. It came with a sled that comes off of here, and when I acquired this, a friend of mine gave this to me, so I never actually had the full thing from the store. But I still have it all these years, and I've had it for probably 40 years, almost 40 years. I think I acquired it in 1985, so it is one of the oldest vehicles that I acquired and owned. It has a really good gun turret here, but it's really old and comes off really easy. I probably could do a fix on that. Hello, some random dog. Ari, how you doing? Glad to see you joining me. Talking about G.I. Joe tonight. Copperhead from the Hilt. And thanks. I think it's cool too. Now, this cockpit came with a canopy cover. Now, I have another version of this from the modern line that I'm going to show you as well. But I definitely wanted to take a really good look at this original. And this engine cover comes off, and this actually has a little wheel here that you can spin, make the rotor go, and it's pretty cool. When I was a kid, it was really awesome. I thought it was one of the coolest things, Of course, definitely got to work on that turret. It's been a long time since I've even looked at this. I had to pull it out of storage to do this video, but I definitely wanted to show it off. Now, I did find something really cool about this, which I didn't know it could do, but I'm just getting used to having compressed air around. But let me see if I can get this on camera, where you can actually use compressed air to make this sucker go really fast. And the same with the newer one, but I think I want to save my compressed air to keep my computer clean. But I always like this boat. And Copperhead, I'm going to put him in there. And I'm probably going to leave him in there for a bit, because I'm going to probably put this over on my shelf and display it for a while. I usually do that when I do a video on him. Let me see if I can get him in here without wrecking the figure. He's really old, and so is the boat. But that's kind of, he can go down in there further, but I'm not going to press my luck with it. But I'm going to leave it in there. And my little Luna has decided that she wants to go in the bedroom, but I'm going to make her say hi first. You little brat. All right. Now, here is the modern lines version, and it came with another Copperhead. I generally don't show the 25th anniversary and later figures on this show. I have before, and I probably will again. But I would make it a special video that I was talking about the modern figures. Now they redid the turret, and this boat's actually quite bigger than the original, so it's a total remold. And as you can see, this is like, if I can get this to the right spot, but yeah, as you can see, it's even way way shorter. As you can see, I've pinned all the backs even. It's just this is a way bigger boat. Now the modern line figures were 4 inch instead of 3 3/4, so they were a little bigger. But this bad boy, and I have the blue version of this one too, but I could not find it. I looked all through my storage. I have stuff all over in my house and in my storage area. So sometimes I misplace things, and I think I've got another bit of Cobra vehicles that I'm missing, because there's quite a few things I'm like going, I know I have that. I have the figures for it, so I know I have it. So anyway, the canopy on this comes off like the other one, and it stays on really good. As you can see, it was giving me some problems coming off. Let's see. DL says nice and hello. Right, exactly. Oh, hello. But yeah, snaps back on there. But you got to get it on there just right, and I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to let it go back in there. And it looks so much better with the canopy on there. But to put the figure in here, you have to take the canopy off, which is another reason I didn't bother going and grabbing my my modern version of the figure. Now, this particular engine cover doesn't come off like the original one does. These panels do come off, but I'm not gonna pop them off because, like the canopy, they're really good. But like this one, the original came with these fan blades on the back, but I never had those, and they were so fragile on the old one. They used to break right away, even when it was brand new. So most of those are not intact. I know there are some out there that are, probably a lot, but it has the same feature to spin the fan blade, and you can use the compressed air to spin that and the blade itself. And it's kind of cool. And like, it still has the same guns, and this gun port they really did a really great job on. But it does have the sled. Yeah, the old one plugs on like a missile. This one actually slides out. And if I can get it to slide out, I will. But I'm not, like, again, I'm not going to force it. This is, probably about 15 years old now. So, and the plastic gets old, and it can become very fragile. It can break. So I try not to force things. This one is still in really good shape, and I'm looking forward to finding my blue version of this, because together they make a pretty good little fleet. It's pretty cool. Now, I probably had it out doing something with it, but it wasn't all together with my boats, which is weird. But that's how it is, like as life goes, you know. Now, I'm going to show you off the box art here for the classified figures, which is the meat of my videos here. I love showing off these classified figures. Now, he was number 72 in the classified series. Classified series just puts them out whatever, not like the original. It doesn't put them out in the same order. They just put out whatever they think is going to sell, I guess. But this particular box art is good, and apparently Luna wants back over here. You need to stop it, little girl. I'll leave the door open a little bit, I guess. Tiger's already gone to sleep, so it should be all right. She usually can sleep once she's asleep. Yeah, I just has a hard time getting to sleep with her. So, but she's already crashed out. So now on the back, it shows the figure and the accessories and a close up of his like tattoo or whatever feature they want to show off. And I have the second version in the classified line of him, which was from the Python Patrol, which I did show this guy off in my Python Patrol video. So there's the side art, and he's number 96 in the series. And the reason why I kept them both up here is so you can see that the difference in the packaging. The accessories, the only thing that's in the same spot is the pistol. The accessories are all the same. It's basically the same figure. It's just a remold, and it makes it look better. I do have an extension collection, but I do not have all of the classified line. I don't have all of the vintage line. That's an ongoing obsession to collect everything. I just picked up some really old stuff this week, and I showed it off on my Friday show tonight. That was a lot of fun, and I have a video out of the missile commander Hawk and his MMS mobile missile system. So, but that's a short, and it's easy to watch and check out. But anyway, on the front, they switched the weapons around and everything. Now, what's cool about these boxes is the artwork is completely, well, the pictures and the artwork are completely different. And you get a good sense of that on the side of the box art. Now, there's these, inside, they have these really cool foot lockers. And that's where you can store all their accessories. So each box has, it's also a way to keep the figure in place, because the figure comes in the box like this. Now, the newer ones have the side art on inside the box art in black and white. I think that's really cool, and I like to show those off when I do these videos. Now, these boxes have the number of the figure, 72, and then the name of the figure on them. Like I said, I've got all his accessories out right now, so there's nothing in here. But the original packaging for what the accessories came in. And they just slide right back in here easy. Now, the cool part about these ones that don't have the window packaging is that when you store them, you can just put them right in here, hang them right on the wall. And these puppies, a push pin on the wall holds these things up really well. And that's where I have most of mine right now, is on the wall. And I thank you, Ari. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I have a pretty cool collection too. That's why I want to share it. And I keep getting more all the time. I just picked up a couple of new figures just day before yesterday. So just after my other live stream, it was kind of funny. Now, I'm not gonna bother with the Foot Locker, but I want to show off this interior art. It's like I said, the black and white art is really cool. So I really enjoy the artwork that they have for these. I'm not really fond of the picture of the figure over here. If I've got the right figure on it, that's really a picture of the figure in a pose, which is kind of neat. But I prefer the actual artwork. It always makes the figure better. Now, the Python Patrol is a sub team that actually he's the leader of. So if you check out my Python Patrol video, I go into way detail on it, and it doesn't need to be said here. But again, this box art's really cool. So that takes us to the figures. Now, I think I'm going to get Copperhead out of the boat over here, and I'm going to show these right next to each other so that you can see how well of an update they did. They did a pretty good job of making him look almost the same. They did the colors a little different, and I think they actually did it better. And you can see why. Yeah. But like I said, I think they did the colors a little better. They had two different coloration versions of this original figure, and my other one has that other coloration. But like I said, it's not that big a deal. It's just different colors on the helmet. But the way they did this one, they made the lighter green stripe thinner, and it makes it look so much better, I think. The bigger stripe, I don't know. He kind of looks like a snake in this version. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, he comes with a really cool, the original one didn't come with anything because it came with the boat, and a lot of times the vehicle drivers didn't come with any accessories. But he comes with a machete, a little curved blade, and a little easy handle, and it just slides right in his hand pretty easy. But it just fits right into this frog is what they call it, a sword frog. But it's a sheath or a case, just a holder for a sword. But that's what they call it, is a sword frog. It's kind of weird, but that's what they call it. I looked it up a long time ago. Anyway, and then it comes with a sidearm, and it has a little I don't know if it comes up on camera, but it has this little tab here that pops right over the gun, just like a real holster. Then he has this really neat pistol, and it just slides right back in, and you just pop this back on. And once you get it to stay, it stays pretty good. Now, he also came with another gun, which is just a bigger hand cannon, basically with a scope on it, so he can shoot things from far away. Has the same like little strap that you can pop in, and there's a little, just making a little hole that you can push the little peg into. There we go. I think you can see it. Yeah. And the gun just, like I said, just slides right out once you've got that taken care of. And this gun is just sweet. It's got to be at least a 357 Magnum. And I'm going to actually put it in his hand so you can see how it looks with him holding it and pointing it at you. It's pretty cool. There you go. I just dig these figures, and as an adult collector, I love the fact that they've catered more to the adults than the kids. And I know the kids can still buy them and enjoy them, and they're really sturdy figures compared to the original. And the plastic's better, and they've come a long way. They had some issues when they first started doing them in this size, but I think they've pretty much got all the bugs out, especially by the time they did this figure. And I'm glad. And see that green coloration is on the inside of the thighs. It was that way on the original figure, but they basically had the mold of the leg half and half, and they screwed them together. And so the inside of the thigh and the lighter green was all the same color plastic. So it was a lot whiter. And like you can see, they made it a lot narrower on here. Yeah. And it just came out really cool. I mean, I think they did an outstanding job, especially on the face sculpt. He's got this mean look in his eyes, and he's supposed to be a bad guy. So, that's what's supposed to happen. So I'm going to set him over here, and then we're going to bring up the Python Patrol Copperhead and take a look, and then I'll bring them both up after I look at him, give you guys a look at him, and I'll show you the comparison between the two. Like I said, it's basically the same figure with just different colors. Now, I don't know why they made his head yellow, but they did that on the original Python Copperhead 2 back in 1988. Copperhead, the original, came out in 1984, so he's been around a long time. The character has since the third year of G.I. Joe. So he's not a new character by any stretch of the imagination, but he is one of the cooler Cobras and less utilized. And I'll talk about that when I go into the media and comic books and stuff that G.I. Joe is famous for. But we'll finish talking about him after I give you guys a good look. And yeah, he comes with the same machete, but I like the fact that they made it red so you can actually see it better. That one, it's all black, and the blue one, and it's kind of harder to see sometimes. Well, at least for me, I don't have the vision I used to have. Let's just put it that way. But he does have this really cool patch on his chest of the Python Patrol, and then he's got one. Wait, see. Oh, it was just on the chest. Okay. The downside to this Python Patrol version is you can't see his tattoos on his arms because he's completely covered. And he had a decent tattoo on the inside of his forearm, if I remember right. Yeah, here it is. And so, but these upper arm guards or whatever the heck they are keep sliding off. But as you can see, he has it's a card, and I'm pretty sure it's the Ace of Spades. Yeah, so he's a gambler, so that just makes sense. Like his character is definitely a big time gambler. Now here you go. There's the difference between the two. They're pretty cool, and basically, like I said, the same figure, just different colors. And I don't know which one I like more, to be honest with you. I'm probably partial to the original because I had him from pretty much when I started collecting. He was one of the first figures I acquired within the first year of my collecting. So when I got the Python Copperhead, the original 1988 version that this is based off of, he had bright yellow pants for some reason. I'm glad they did not include that in this version. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. And I actually swapped him out for a black pair of pants way back when too. So because the O-ring figures, these figures like this, there is a she all smiled. Thanks. The O-ring figures, these you could actually, there's a screw in the back there. You can actually take them apart completely. You can swap out the O-rings when they go bad and break, and you can also interchange the parts. It's kind of cool. A lot of people do what they call Frankensteining, and they make their own figures out of them. It's an interesting part of the hobby. I like to keep them the way they originally are, but that's probably just me. That takes us to the character of Copperhead, and like I said, he's a gambler. I'm going to play a video. Joe Takes 43 is what I called it. It's like a promo for my Joe Takes, and it helps me when I actually go to do the actual Joe Takes like I am tonight, because I can play the video at the end, and it includes artwork and a live video of me showing off the figures, and also a bunch of file cards. And in that, you can actually read, pause the screen or whatever, and read each file card if you want to, and you know all about the character of Copperhead. But I'm about to give you the gist of Copperhead and what he was and is to the Joverse as a whole. Copperhead, like I said, was originally just the moccasin pilot. He basically didn't have a lot of media appearances. He wasn't in a lot of the cartoons. And the original Marvel Comics, which is what I based most of my headcanon off of, he wasn't in at all, except for one appearance in the file card books that they had. He was never in any of the stories, and they had the moccasin, the boat in there, but they never had it, the Copperhead there, its pilot. Now, in the cartoon, he was in some of the early episodes of the Sunbow cartoon in 85. He wasn't in any of the 86 episodes of the second season. They didn't get a third season. They didn't show him in any of the miniseries that are beforehand that I remember, because they had a miniseries in 83, 84. And then they had a miniseries in 85 to kick off the series, which was pretty cool. And like I said, he was only in a few of the Sunbow episodes. And to me, the most memorable ones were Jungle Trap, where basically Cobra Commander had shot down the Joes in their helicopters, and they were trapped in the jungle, and they had all these traps set up. And the Jungle Trooper and Duke and Snake Eyes and Scarlet and Rock and Roll had to meander their way through the jungle to get out. And Copperhead was piloting his moccasin through that with Cobra Troopers. And that's the only interaction he really had with Cobra, is with the Cobra Troopers. The only other real interaction he had was with the Dreadnoks, which I think they missed a lot of opportunities to have Copperhead with the Dreadnoks, because he lives in the swamp just like the Dreadnoks. He hangs out in all the same bars they hang out in. I mean, he's the same kind of guy. So I think at some point he probably should have joined the Dreadnoks. But at some point, I think that they lost track of all the characters, and so he was only in like I said, just like 2 or 3 episodes. But the one that stood out to me as my favorite episode, where he was with the Dreadnoks at the beginning, and that was Worlds Without End Part 1 and 2. But he was only in Part 1, and he's basically the reason the Joes got sent into an alternate timeline. It was pretty cool. Something to watch. Definitely worth watching. It's definitely my favorite episode of the Sunbow series. It's a 2-parter, so technically both of them. Let's see. Ari says, "Should I change you want to change your icon again, your picture, or just leave it like this?" That's up to you. I'm kind of set on the one I have now, but I used to use my picture all the time. But I kind of prefer the one I have. So you need to find one that you really like, and once you do, stick with it because most people will just recognize you by your little icon. So the one you have right now is good, but if you want to change it, go for it, Ari. Okay, so the second series of animated G.I. Joe cartoons was from a company called Deke, and they started theirs with a 5-part miniseries. And Copperhead had a very prominent role in that. That was very cool too. So he wasn't completely excluded from media. So he had some cartoon appearances, and later on he was in Larry Hama's comics when he went over to IDW Comics, and right now they've switched to Image Comics again. It's I can't remember the sub branch of that's part of. And is that Ari from Ari's World? I don't know. Some random dog. I know they're like 10 years old, and I think they live in like Australia or something. It's been I'm not 100% sure. She says, let me see what picture to use. Let me see my screenshots. Okay, well, like pick the one that you really like, and once you get it, stick with it because then people recognize you right away. All right, so the name sounds the same. Yeah, probably. Now, for the purposes of the Joe-verse at large, that's Copperhead's story. Now, he had a few stories in some of the newer comics and stuff that I'm not familiar with. There is a couple from the Hobbiverse where him and Shipwreck went at it, and I have a comic book with that. It was pretty cool. Shipwreck was the G.I. Joe sailor, if you're not familiar with that, and I have done a video on him, so check that out. So for my headcanon and how I see Copperhead is the commander of Cobra's, not necessarily their naval legions, but their riverboat legions. And they have a lot of operations on rivers. So to me, that's where he falls into the chain of command. He's a mercenary. He's not necessarily a full-fledged member of Cobra. He works for Cobra and basically has joined them to pay off his gambling debts, according to his file cards. It's a pretty interesting scenario, as it were. But for me, I always incorporated right in, and he was a Cobra, but he pretty much meandered around through it until he was hanging out with the Dreadnoks all the time. Never like a full-fledged member, just like he's not a full-fledged member of Cobra, but he was always hanging out with them. So that's the way I see Copperhead. Very cool character. Has a really strong Southern drawl, like maybe from Louisiana, and an interesting character all around. Most Cobras have a lot more backstory, so I think for my purposes, Copperhead he is in my top 10 of favorite Cobras. He's my number 8, and I just for some reason he resonated with me. I had a lot of fun with him as a kid and as an adult. I actually see him as more intelligent than most of the other Cobras. So I don't know why they didn't utilize him more, but in fact, his most famous line from the animated series was "Y'all need more brains." So, oh, they say, okay, all right, that looks cool. Hey, Ari, that does look cool. You're going to rejoin. Cool. Okay, so that's my take on Copperhead. I hope you've enjoyed it. I sometimes have a tendency to ramble on when I'm talking about these characters because I love them so much. So I'm gonna sign off here, and never mind, it just changed. Okay, no worries. I'm gonna play that video for you so you can see some of the images more close up and get a better view of it. You drew it, cool. That's even better. That makes it cooler, Ari. And like I said, there are file cards and artwork in there for you to take a look at. So with that all being said, I am glad you caught me too, DL, and I hope you have a good night. I hope you have a good night, Ari, and thank you for joining me. That's for sure. I do enjoy it when people show up, but I really focus on making these videos for these characters, and I appreciate that you just listen to me ramble. So thanks for being here, and Logan out. So let me play this video for you, and I hope you enjoy it, and then I will see you next time.
In the heart of the city, shadows come alive. A ruthless speed, no driver ready to take a dive. Copperhead is his name, his ambition untamed. The power of Cobra, no one can be blamed. Cobra's chase, the battle unfolds. G.I. Joe stands tall, brave and bold. Copperhead's game, a dangerous affair. With justice in our hands, we'll despair. In the depths of the night, a shadow takes the wheel. Copperhead's in control. He's got that speed for skill. Yeah. Ruthless gambler, mercy in his eyes. He'll push it to the edge, take you by surprise. Whoa. Cobra's curse stands toying with our fate, but G.I. Joe won't back down. We'll never hesitate from land to sea. We'll stand and fight. Code's reign of terror will bring it to the light.
All right, it's over. Go on home now.